A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. A Clockwork Orange follows Alex, a delinquent youth in a dystopian future who leads a gang involved in extreme violence and crime. After being captured, Alex undergoes an experimental treatment to reform him, making him incapable of violence. However, this rehabilitation strips him of free will, raising questions about morality and autonomy. As Alex struggles to navigate a society that has turned against him, the narrative explores themes of free will, the nature of evil, and the possibility of redemption. Ultimately, Alex's journey is one of self-discovery and the search for individual identity within a repressive society. Let's deep dive into the book. A Night of Ultraviolence. A Clockwork Orange introduces Alex, a teenage delinquent leading a gang in near-future England. The narrative opens with Alex and his droogs indulging in a night of ultraviolence, involving random acts of violence, theft, and rape. Alex's world is characterized by societal decay and authoritarian government, and he revels in brutality and Beethoven. His actions set the stage for a story that deeply explores themes of free will, the nature of evil, and the possibility of redemption. The disintegration of the gang. The cohesion of Alex's gang begins to deteriorate as tensions rise between its members. Discontent with Alex's leadership, his droogs challenge his authority, leading to a power struggle. This internal conflict culminates in a botched robbery, where Alex's betrayal by his gang members leads to his capture by the police. This marks a turning point in the narrative, shifting from the portrayal of senseless violence to focusing on the consequences of Alex's actions. Alex's incarceration. Following his arrest, Alex is sentenced to prison for murder. His time in jail is marked by a struggle for survival and power dynamics between inmates and guards. Seeking a way out, Alex volunteers for an experimental treatment known as the Ludovico technique, aimed at reforming criminals by conditioning them to associate violent thoughts and actions with physical sickness. This section of the story introduces a critical examination of the concept of forced rehabilitation. The Ludovico technique. The Ludovico technique represents a pivotal moment in Alex's life as he undergoes the experimental procedure. The treatment effectively renders him incapable of violence, but also robs him of his ability to make moral choices. The government touts Alex's transformation as a success, illustrating the state's manipulation of individuals for social control. However, Alex's loss of free will raises ethical questions about the nature of goodness and the right to self-determination. Released into society. Cured of his violent tendencies, Alex is released back into society. However, he finds himself unable to navigate the world as before. His past victims seek revenge, and without the ability to defend himself, Alex suffers greatly. His struggles highlight the theme of societal vengeance and the question of whether true rehabilitation is possible without personal growth and redemption. Betrayal and despair. Homeless and defenseless, Alex encounters former gang members who have become part of the oppressive societal system he once rebelled against. Betrayed by friends and tormented by enemies, he reaches the brink of despair, attempting suicide. This act of desperation signifies Alex's profound loss of identity and the destructive consequences of dehumanizing treatments aimed at curbing individuality and free will. Government intervention. Alex's suicide attempt draws public attention, making him a political symbol of the government's failure in dealing with crime and rehabilitation. In a bid to quell public unrest and preserve their image, government officials offered to restore Alex's capacity for violence in exchange for his cooperation in promoting their policies. This manipulation further illustrates the theme of state control and the expendability of individual rights for political gain. Restoration of free will. Under government care, Alex undergoes another treatment that successfully reverses the effects of the Ludovico technique, restoring his ability to choose between good and evil. While this return to his original state is presented as a victory for Alex, it also poses questions about the nature of freedom and the ethical implications of manipulating an individual's capacity for choice. A new beginning. In the aftermath of his rehabilitation, Alex finds himself disillusioned with his previous life of violence. He envisions a future where he can lead a normal life, suggesting a personal transformation that contrasts sharply with his earlier persona. This change reflects the novel's exploration of human capacity for change and the complex interplay between nature and nurture in shaping individual destiny. Reflections on humanity. The story concludes with Alex contemplating the cycle of violence and the possibility of outgrowing one's violent impulses. He acknowledges the inevitability of change and the desire for a more meaningful existence, indicating a shift towards self-awareness and moral responsibility. This final section suggests that true rehabilitation comes from within, through personal growth and the recognition of one's humanity beyond the constraints of societal conditioning. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Free will and determinism. A Clockwork Orange delves into the complex interplay between free will and determinism, questioning whether true goodness can exist without the ability to choose evil. Through Alex's forced transformation, which renders him incapable of making moral choices, Burgess critiques societal attempts to mechanize human behavior. The novel argues that stripping individuals of their capacity to choose their actions, even in the pursuit of eradicating evil, ultimately dehumanizes them. It suggests that free will, with all its attendant risks, is essential to human dignity and moral responsibility. The nature of good and evil. Burgess explores the intrinsic duality of good and evil within human nature, suggesting that both capacities exist within each individual. By portraying Alex, a character who revels in violence yet is capable of appreciating classical music, the novel presents a complex view of morality. It challenges the notion of inherent evil or goodness, proposing instead that environment, choice, and societal influences shape moral character. The narrative prompts readers to consider the conditions under which evil flourishes and whether society's efforts to impose morality might suppress innate human virtues. The role of the state in individual lives. The novel scrutinizes the role of the state in controlling individual behavior and the extent to which government intervention is justified in curbing personal freedoms for the greater good. Burgess presents a dystopian society where the state employs extreme measures, including psychological conditioning and surveillance, to enforce conformity and suppress dissent. This critique reflects concerns about overreach and the potential for government power to be abused under the guise of maintaining order, raising questions about the balance between societal safety and individual rights. The power of language. A Clockwork Orange is renowned for its innovative use of language, particularly the Nadsat slang that Burgess invents for Alex and his gang. This unique linguistic style serves not only to immerse readers in the youth culture of the novel's dystopian world, but also to explore the power of language as a tool for both control and resistance. Language shapes the novel's reality, influencing how characters perceive and interact with their world. Burgess's use of Nadsat thus reflects on how language can simultaneously alienate and empower, highlighting its role in identity and rebellion. Violence and humanity. Throughout the novel, Burgess examines the seductive allure of violence and its impact on human nature. The graphic depictions of Alex's violent acts raise uncomfortable questions about the origins of violent impulses and society's fascination with brutality. By subsequently showing Alex's victimization by the same violent forces he once wielded, the narrative suggests that cycles of violence are perpetuated by societal and institutional failings. Burgess posits that understanding and addressing the root causes of violence, rather than merely punishing or seeking to control it, are crucial steps toward achieving a more compassionate and just society. Let's talk about the author. Anthony Burgess, 1917 to 1993, was an English writer and composer best known for his dystopian novel, A Clockwork Orange. Burgess's diverse body of work encompasses over 50 books, including novels, biographies, and linguistic texts. He was a polymath with a profound interest in language, which is evident in the inventive slang of A Clockwork Orange. Burgess's experiences during World War II and his observations of modern society's trends towards violence and authoritarianism significantly influenced his writing. Despite the controversy surrounding some of his themes, Burgess is celebrated for his wit, erudition, and the ethical questions his works pose about freedom, society, and human nature. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to subscribe, like, or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.